Good afternoon. This is Debbie Davis. It is January 29th, 2026. Okay, so I haven't done a video in a few days, taking some breaks. I wanted to let people know of what I found out that happened with my vehicles. Okay, because I did several videos talking about how I had several bizarre things happening with my vehicles, and I would see police driving by, and then there would be like a light that would come on, and then like another police drive by, and then it would stall. Okay, it would be a police or firefighter. Okay, I had all these weird, and I talked about how it was ever since I was at this one mechanic at a car accident. I had all these different things going on and off with my vehicle, and so I found out. I did find out what the problem was from somebody finally, and I did not need a starter. I did not need a new battery. It was a distributor. So whatever this device is, just so you know, it's some kind of a weapon, and it looks kind of like a radar gun or something, or it's some kind of a like or there's these other type things that I talked about, these other guns that some people have too, that are similar. They're electronic warfare type weapons that, regular people shouldn't have. And but they do. And so what they can do is they can shock the distributor of your car, and then what happens is you have to just give it a few days for the battery to come back on. Okay? So if you've had that issue, just let your car sit for a few days, and you won't have that issue anymore. You just let your car sit for a few days, and it starts right back up. So I just wanted to talk about that. This is really scary, and it, so it's like, okay, so they seemed, I was talking to somebody that so I have this friend Charlene who's had similar, I've had her on my channel, and she's had similar things happen where she's had issues with this neighbor. And I also had issues when I was in Richfield. There was this neighbor being harassed by another neighbor that had some kind of a weapon that was pointed at her house, and she's got symptoms of radiation now. Okay, these are weapons that people are getting a hold of. They're usually Masons. Okay, these are the Mason. I've talked about this, the Masons, and how dangerous they are. Okay, and they're getting a hold of this, and they're using it on innocent civilians, and the police and nobody's doing anything about it. But what she said is that, and so she's had issues where she's being hit with some kind of a radiation in her house in Virginia, and my other neighbor in Richfield was saying the same thing. Okay, so. But she said also that they seem to be able to hit the car through, they can do something through a ham radio, or through satellite technology, or a VPN, virtual private network. Okay. And, okay. And it seems to be able to affect the distributor. Okay. And it shocks it, but then it's really not damaged. It's just like it needs to recharge. So these are very dangerous weapons, and these people need to be held accountable that have these weapons, and they need to take these weapons off the market. These weapons need to be taken off the market so nobody can get a hold of these type of things, because they're being used illegally against innocent citizens. Okay, so and then my neighbor that had a similar thing with his car too, and I believe that it was same thing, the distributor, and then he brought it in, and they tried to say it was a starter again, and I believe it was actually, there was some kind of a loose starter cable that was on recall, and the local mechanic didn't even, we have really crooked mechanics that seem to be working in cahoots with the police that should have told him that the BMW had a recall notice for a loose starter generator cable. Instead, this mechanic charged him like $1,500 for a starter. And then we looked it up, and there was because he had gotten a recall notice in the mail, and then, he's like, then he tried to see if he could get his money back, but because he believed that it was really just the loose starter cable, and they won't, they won't address it properly. So, yeah, I mean, these are fraud issues. These are very serious issues and fraud issues. Okay. Anyway, but these are, I mean, it's even more serious than that, because, they can, there's people that have died, like people in Hollywood and stuff, that in strange car accidents. Like, remember that Paul Walker, Fast and Furious? I mean, it was like things like they seem to be able to make your car go on its own. It seemed like that's what happened with Anne Hesh. She died in a mysterious car crash, and also Paul Walker. And I think I heard Morgan Freeman had a really nasty car accident like years and years ago, and I had to be airlifted. Okay, they seem to be able to have this type of technology that is very, very serious and very dangerous. So you have to be aware, and and it's like, not only can they hit your car and make it stall somehow, but there is even more things they can do. So whatever these weapons are that these dangerous mechanics and different people are getting a hold of, they have to be taken off the market. We have to find out what they are. We know some of them are made by Raytheon. Okay, so Raytheon has to be investigated, and they're the ones making some of these things. Okay, so anyway, that's my update for today.